right, hold on 1 second. All right, cool. I had to check. I had a text out to Heather. So, good evening. It is Wednesday. Half the week is over already. Freaking time goes by so ridiculously fast. It's crazy. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope you guys are having a good day. It was now they said it was going to rain here today, right? So probably they said like 4 o'clock the rains were going to come. Hey, KP Heathen, nice to see you. Greetings from Louisiana. It's a little warm down there. Definitely a little warm down there. But so anyway, this rain was supposed to be coming, right? So it was like ridiculously humid and hot. And I saw the clouds rolling in. I'm like, okay, here it comes. Here it comes. Cooled down, which was awesome. And then it never rained. So now I looked at the forecast. It's not supposed to rain until like 3 in the morning. So you never know. You never know. So crazy. Yeah, don't drink it, Jane says. Well, that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking, is rainwater safe to drink? So we're going to talk about that here in a moment. And I think it's a really interesting thing that they're saying, because I have questions, you know. I always have questions. It's conundrums, things that don't make sense, and that type of thing. So, but we're going to get into that in a moment. I don't know, maybe mankind might have something to do with it. Wouldn't shock me. So, but anyway, so before we get started with the live stream, I just want to remind everybody that check out Sean in Alaska. He's building his own cabin. You might like it. Okay, thank you. But anyway, I'm going blank here. Okay, so just a reminder, family-friendly oriented channel, guys. Please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. It will not be tolerated if you cannot follow those very simple, easy rules. Those awesome people that you see lit up in blue will boot you out of here, because we're just not going to tolerate it. So thank you very much ahead of time for doing that. All right. All right. So anyway, let's get started. So reading an article today. Robert says it's buffering. Man, I will tell you what. I hope not. Choppy on the sound. Man, YouTube just really does suck lately. So before we get started in this, and I do want to get into the topic here in a minute, I had one of my subscribers today called me, and we were talking, and sounds okay? All right. He was telling me that he tried to get into my stream the other day, and it took him 4 tries to get into the stream because it wouldn't let him in, and it was taking so long, and he was having all kinds of issues. He said, Ed, if I go to somebody else's stream, and I can get right in with no problem at all. He goes, but trying to get into your stream is difficult, because I've been watching everything that's going on, obviously. And first of all, let me just say, I am not playing the victim in any way, shape, or form. I want you guys to know that ahead of time. I know that it's being done to a lot of YouTubers, that there are games being played, and it doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make any sense at all, because for a simple fact is, we are making YouTube money, right? Content creators are making YouTube money. So in a way, when you screw with people and you screw with their livelihood and everything else, you're cutting off your nose to spite your face. It doesn't make any kind of sense to me. But obviously, it's all done to try to frustrate people, control people, get people pissed off, you know, and those type of things. Oh, so here's another thing I want to say. If you're not getting notifications, okay, if you're subscribed to the channel and you're not getting notifications, what I would suggest to do, because I've had a couple people tell me this is what they ended up doing. They unsubscribed and then resubscribed to the channel and hit all notifications, and then they started getting notifications. So just advice. You can do it if you want to. You don't have to. I'm just saying. All right. But okay, so we're going to talk about rainwater here, guys. All right. And I read a lot of stuff always looking at different things and trying to see different information. And there was a study done, and I don't have the long drawn out words, so I'm going to give you the abbreviated words. And they were saying that there are forever chemicals in rainwater now, even in Antarctica. So if you know, it's not like it's one place and other places, but the forever chemical is PFAS. So if you guys want to look that up, PFAS is what it's called. Okay. This chemical is being found in rainwater. Now, what does that mean? Does it mean you drink the rainwater, you die? No. Okay. So you could still drink the rainwater, but unfortunately, with these forever chemicals in there, they're going to cause side effects if drinking over a period of time. One of them, of course, the favorite one that we all love is cancer, right? Infertility is another one. Um, Immune system problems. Those are the different things that's going to be caused by this. Now, can it be filtered out? Can it be run through a filter system and cleaned out? Yes, it can. Um, you know, how legitimate is this? Is it real? Is it a real thing? I have no idea. Okay. I'm just going by the article that I read. Now, the United States is not a country that is drinking a lot of rainwater. Okay. But there are a lot of countries that do. Now, I know for myself with the garden, 90% of the water that I water the garden with, other than natural rain coming out of the sky, is rainwater. Okay. So, those things are disturbing to see. Now, here's the question. One of the questions, one of many questions that I have: Where are these chemicals coming from? How are these chemicals getting in the air to cause this to happen in the first place? So I have all those so I can drink the rainwater. Well, there you go, Janet. You're in good shape then. But you know, yeah. Well, Loretta, I don't disagree with what you're saying in your statement. I'm not going to repeat it on here because I don't want to be accused of false information. But that would not surprise me at all. And JJ put the same thing out there as well. Wouldn't shock me at all. Okay. What I would suggest, I know like from my well water in New York, because I have a well in New York, we filter all that water. So any water that we use in New York is all filtered. So it's not like, we're not purifying it first before we drink it. And that's just done is we probably could just drink the well water straight and it would be fine. But to me, I always want to err on the side of caution. That's just me. Um, I did bring the last trip that I came down, I did bring some of the filters that I have, big Berkey filters down here. Yep, I'm telling you what, I love the big Berkey, guys. Love the big Berkey. How is it unsafe to drink but safe to consume all products that absorbs all that rain? Exactly. Yeah, like I said, I'm not saying that this is 100% legitimate thing. I'm just giving you the information that I read. So I'm not saying, oh my God, don't drink the rainwater or you're going to die. I'm not saying that. Okay. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is you just don't know. So I have always filtered the water that I'm going to drink. That is, yeah, scare tactics again on their part. Could be JJ. You just don't know. Um, but my my advice to anybody would be to make sure that you are filtering your water. If you're collecting water or you're getting it out of a well or wherever you're getting your water from, I'm going to tell you what, and this is, you can do whatever you want to do. Water that you get out of the tap, I would filter that water too. That's just me. If you are getting your water from a town or a county or a city, I would filter that water. We can go all kinds of different scenarios throughout the years where different places have had issues with their water and people, trying to drink tap water and all that other crap. I wouldn't do it unless it was filtered. That's just me. You know, but Berkey is awesome, but you also need a PF2 fluoride filters. Yeah, and somebody just said that they're out of the fluoride filters right now. Yeah, Flint, Michigan, exactly, is a great example of awesome water that they're drinking up there. So speaking of water, I'm just drinking bottled water right now. But I filter my city water and it still tastes nasty. Bitter, Robert says. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Robert. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, there's so many things out there. I mean, everything's killing you, right? I mean, everything is killing you. That's if you want to listen to the pundits, that's what they're telling you. You need to be afraid of everything because everything's going to kill you. You shouldn't eat this. You shouldn't eat that. You shouldn't eat the other thing. Well, let me let you all in on a little secret. We're all on the same journey, and it all ends the same way, and we all end up doing it alone at the end. All right. There's no getting out of it. No, no green tea tonight. I got it. I got. It. I actually I just like I said, I went to Walmart and did my grocery shop the other day and picked up 24 more cans. I was down. I only had about 8 left. But so no, I got more. But anyway, we're all on that same journey. So my thing, I don't believe in taking stupid chances. That's just me. I want to just do my thing, live my life, try to be as healthy as I possibly can be. Like I said, my weakness is sweets. It always has been. It always will be. Uh, you know, so that's my drug of choice. Candies, cookies, pies, cake. Yeah, that's my weakness. But I'm trying to be better. It's I'll tell you what, it ain't easy. It ain't easy. But I'll tell you a very very funny story. Yeah, ice cream, of course, ice cream. Yes, ice cream. Maple walnut, maple walnut ice cream. Either maple walnut, or orange sherbet. Those are my two. Yeah. So but anyway, I'll tell you a funny story real quick. So when I was with my first wife, her grandfather had gone to the doctor, and this is you can't like I said, literally you cannot make this stuff up. So the doctor, he's talking to the doctor, and the doctor says, "So you eat, I don't know, it was like a muffin or something sweet that he ate it every single day, right? So he had this, treat every single day." And the doctor says, you're going to need to give that up. You're going to need to stop eating that. It's not good for you and stuff like that. And her grandfather looked at the doctor and said, and this is like the best line ever. He said, "Sonny," he goes, "I'm 93 years old. If I stop eating those sweets, how much more time am I going to get?" He says, "I'm going to live my life. I'm going to enjoy eating what I eat. And when it's my time, I'm going to go." And I just thought that was the best because at 93, you're going to tell somebody, "Oh, nope, you need to stop doing that." I'll tell you another true story. Okay. I took care of a gentleman one time that was dying. He was not going to be around much longer. And I was working for this agency at the time. And one of the girls that worked at the agency, she was also a nurse, but she was working in the office. And she came up to me and she said, "Ed, I wonder if you could help me out." And I said, "Well, what can I do?" She goes, "My dad is dying and he's been going through nurses like crazy because he still wants to smoke, but he's on oxygen. So he's on oxygen 24 hours a day, but he still wants to smoke. And the nurses that go in there won't let him smoke, and he's flipping out, and they're having all kinds of issues and that type of thing." I said, "Yeah, I'll go in and I'll work with your dad." So we had an agreement, and I said to him, I said, "Listen, here's the deal. You can have as many cigarettes as you want. I have no issue with you smoking. If you want to smoke, you can smoke." I said, "But I'm going to hold on to the lighter, and when you want a cigarette, you just tell me, and I'll light you up, and you're all set, and you can smoke." And he was like, "Okay." So of course, that first night that we worked together, he probably smoked 5, 6 cigarettes, right? Not a ton, but so after that, he realized that he could have a cigarette whenever he wanted to. he would maybe have two in a night. It was not the fact that I was letting him smoke. It was the fact that people were saying that he couldn't. And my thing was this guy is dying anyway. He's dying anyway. So if he wants to smoke a cigarette, let him smoke a cigarette. Who gives a crap? I mean, people get so locked in and they can't think outside the box. They can't put themselves in you know, put themselves in a situation where they could empathize with a person. So that's why people have an issue. And so to me, it's like I always looked at it like this. If it was me and I'm in that situation and I have this vice or that vice and I want to do it, like if you want to have a drink, if you want to do a shot or if you want to have a beer, knock yourself out. Who gives a crap? You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, no, you can't have that because that's bad for you. You're dying anyway. Who gives a crap? You know what I mean? That's my take on it, and that's kind of how I approached nursing when I was working as a nurse. I still have my license, obviously, but I haven't actively worked as a nurse in more than 4 years, I'm happy to say. But you know, but anyway, yeah, I mean, guys, I could tell you stories, and it's amazing. And so anyway, I ended up working with this guy until he passed, and we had a great relationship. We got along great. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah, quality of life, not quantity. Exactly. As long as you have quality of life. Okay, Sharon Barrett, my weakness, she says, is jelly beans. So only one kind of jelly bean I like. One kind of jelly bean, and that's black jelly beans. It's got to be black jelly beans, Sharon. So do you like them all, or do you have a certain kind that you like? For me, black jelly beans all day long. So, but anyway, yeah, it's just life is so short and people don't get it. They just don't get it. And if you can help somebody on that journey, that's what it's all about. So I'm going to tell you another nursing story. All right. And this was one that really at the time really upset me. So anybody that watches this channel, you probably know by this point in time, I am not religious. Okay. It's my choice. If you want to be religious, that's great. Black jelly beans are so gross. I like all the others that. Oh, see, now you don't know what you're missing. You don't know what you're missing, Sharon. But it's okay. I'll eat the black jelly beans. You eat the rest. We'll be good. All right. So, but anyway, I have no judgment on anybody's beliefs. You can believe whatever you want to believe, but I don't. So that's where that's at. So I was taking care of this gentleman, and this is like one of the reasons. And there's I could give you a laundry list of reasons why I don't like religion. Okay, but so here's an example of what happened. So I was doing a lot of hospice. If you don't know what hospice is when somebody's dying, they have the nurse come in and they take care of it. It's more comfort care. You're taking care of that person. You're helping them with whatever their needs are until they pass away. They want to pass away at home. Okay. So this gentleman that I was taking care of, he was home. And so to give you a little bit of an idea, so by the time I started taking care of this guy, he looked like a prisoner that just came out of a concentration camp like Auschwitz. You've seen the pictures, a skeleton on skin. This is what this gentleman looked like, okay? So he had this church that he had been involved with, and these a-holes is what they were, okay? Being 100% honest. And I'm not going to say what religion they were, but they were a church and they were whatever the denomination were. And they would come in and they would say, oh, we have been praying for you and I had a vision and you're going to receive a miracle and you're going to get up and you're going to walk away and everything is going to be great and you're going to be fine, right? So I have to sit here, listen to these people lie to this gentleman who's dying, okay? Drive me out of my mind. I had to shut up. I had to just be quiet. Didn't say nothing because it's not my place. He can believe whatever he wants to believe. Now I'm going to tell you a couple things that happened with this. Okay. So what happened was he continued to deteriorate, and me and him got along great. And he knew, like I said, he knew I wasn't religious. And I didn't believe what he was saying. And I was always very honest with him. I never BS'd him or any of that type of stuff because I won't do it. As one of the thing, um, you know, it's one of the things I've never ever done. I will never ever ever BS a patient. It's just not who I am. It's not in my nature. I'm going to give you the information. You can process it. You can do what you want with it. Well, he started having, and some of you may know what I'm talking about when I say this, but I'll explain it to you. So he started having black stool, black liquid stool, and it is the most foul smelling stool that you will ever see. And what it is, it's because of internal bleeding. When you have black stool with that smell, it means you're bleeding internally. Frank blood is red blood, like if you have a hemorrhoid or something like that, that's totally different. Okay. So that black stool is internal bleeding, and that's what's happening. So he started to have um, that black stool. And so I sat down with him and I explained to him what was happening. And I said, listen, I'm, I'm never going to BS you, right? And he was like, yes. I said, this is what's happening. You are bleeding internally. It is only a matter of time at this point. And he kept saying, but Ed, I'm going to get my miracle and blah, 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 blah. And this is the conversation, guys. And I want you to listen to this, okay? Because this is important. So I said to him, I said, okay, well, let me ask you a question. And he said, okay. I said, when were you diagnosed with cancer? And I think he said 5.5, it was 5.5 years ago, he had been diagnosed with cancer. I said, and how long did they give you? He said, they said that I would be dead within 3 years. And I said, okay. I go, let me ask you this. Did you ever think that what your miracle was that you got an extra 2.5 years that you weren't supposed to get? And he looked at me and he said, oh my God, Ed, he goes, I never thought of it that way. Is that not a miracle? He was given 3 years and lived for 5.5, right? That to me, I mean, that's, you're not supposed, they're telling you you're supposed to be 2.5 years ago. That's a miracle you're still alive now. So, I sat with him and we had discussions and he cried. And here's the thing what you have to understand. When you are in that journey of death, if you have a disease where it's slowly killing you, you have to go through the steps. So first of all, what generally happens? Somebody gets a disease and they get sick. They're angry. They're pissed off. They're just like, why me? How can this happen to me? Right? The denial. This is not right. Something is, all these type of things. Then you go from that anger, you have to go to where you go to accept it and realize what's happening. And then you have to come eventually to the peace. You have to come to be at peace with what is going on and be able to say your goodbyes and to the people that you care about and all those type of things. I'm going to tell you what, when that gentleman died, I still have the letter to this day that his wife wrote me. And that, oh my God, I'm trying to think how long ago that is. 25 years ago, something like that. Something like that. But, and it was an awesome letter. And I always kept it because it really meant a lot to me. When I took care of these people that were going through that process, I wanted them to have respect and dignity and those type of things. And it's tough. When you go into a case and that person's not going to walk out of there, they're going to die. Being a nurse, and I've done a vast majority of things in my nursing career, but you learn to deal with death. You have to. You have to. And my ex was given 1.5 years, and he made it 6. I stayed with him at the hospice house the final weeks and took care of him. He had a peaceful passing. That's awesome. That is awesome. And I'm glad that you got that extra time with him at that point. But the thing, when I say we're all on a journey, folks, we're all on a journey. So no matter how healthy you are, I'm going to tell you, I'll tell you again, and I don't mean to get off on this tangent, but I just wanted to share some of the things that I've always dealt with. Always off topic. Hey, I talked about the topic. I did talk about the topic. I had an uncle was an absolute health nut. Okay. He lived in California, lived in San Diego. He was a psychologist, awesome, awesome person, in my opinion. Helped a lot of people. He really, really did. Didn't drank, never smoked, did not do drugs. He lived in Southern California and stayed out of the sun, so he like didn't have a tan or any of that type of stuff. Okay, very, very healthy. Exercised on a regular basis. His two sisters, my mom and my aunt, have both lived longer than he did. He died at 70 because of cancer. Cancer don't care how healthy you are. Cancer doesn't care, what you do. Cancer is going to get you no matter what. That's kind of part of the way that goes, unfortunately. But you know, you never know. You never know. And he was the oldest. My mom just turned 79. Um, and her younger sister, my aunt, is 2 years younger. She's 76, and they're both. And my aunt has dealt with cancer as well. So yeah, it runs in my family, really, really strong. So when I got it, I wasn't surprised that I got it. But I'll tell you what, it's not any kind of fun thing to deal with. Anybody that is a survivor out there of cancer, see. Here's one of the things that I can say that like a lot of people will say, like I'll give you an example of something. So a child dies, and somebody will come up to that person and says, "I know how you feel." Well, they don't know how you feel unless they've gone through it, realistically. Okay. So if you say, "Oh, I know how you feel because you've had cancer," you don't unless you've had it. So when I say to somebody, "I know how you feel," trust me, I know how you feel. It is not a fun thing to deal with at all. Not a fun thing to deal with at all. And but fortunately, in my case, I've come through it, and I'm going to knock on the Formica table here, uh, and I'm okay. 7 years later, I'm still cancer free. So very, very blessed. I mean, guys, you have no idea. I've been healthy my whole life. I don't go to the doctor. I don't do any of those things because I just don't. But when I had something wrong with me, and I could feel that something was wrong, you know, I went to the doctors because of my family history. And thank goodness I did. I got it early enough where they were able to get it out of me. And that's why I have my awesome scar on my back. So the joke is with my scar, people will say, "My God, it looks like Zorro got you twice." And I always tell people, "Yeah, but do you see Zorro around anymore?" So that's the joke. But you know, it just like I said, it's don't live in fear, really. And this is one of the things that I really want to drive home to you guys. We're all on that journey. So you can spend your whole life scared to death and, oh my God, it's going to happen. And no way, no way. I'm going to live my life. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to take care of my business. I'm going to spend the time that I have with the people that I want to spend it with. And Sonia said, "I had cancer early stages and it got caught. I had surgery and they got it all." That's awesome. That is awesome. So, but yeah, but I'll tell you what, it's like so really, really funny. And I know I've shared this story before, but I want to share it again real quick. So after my surgery, I had to go back to the doctors 2 weeks later for her to take the bandages off. So I actually just shared that picture when they first took the bandages off. My girlfriend at the time took the picture, and I posted it on Facebook then, and it just came up as a memory back in July, and I posted it again. And I was, 7 years, and I'm still here. And so when they took the bandages off, and I saw the scar, I was like, "Holy crap!" You know what I mean? So I said to the doctor, I go, "Jesus, doc," I go, "Look at that scar." I go, "What'd you do?" I go, "Did you take a kidney when you were in there too?" I said, "I bet you get a good amount on the black market for that." And she started laughing, and she's like, "You know what, Ed?" She said, "I wish more of my patients had your attitude." And what I told her at the time was, I said, "You know what, doc?" I said, "If that scar ran through my face, through my face," I said, "I wouldn't care as long as I'm still alive." That's it. Things are going to happen. Scars means you have lived. I have plenty of scars. You know, yeah, it's a big scar. Absolutely, it's a big scar. You know, but it's like I'm still here, and I'm still kicking. So you know, if I hadn't had that surgery, I would not be here right now, and that's a reality. You know, and so you know, those are things that we all need to. You know, I'm going to tell you what you reevaluate. Okay, it's probably the best way I can describe it. Yeah, and I never did a pity party, and I never felt sorry for myself because it is what it is. You got to deal with it. But I sat down and I did some serious reevaluation of who I am as a person, where I'm at in my life, what do I want to do, what do I want to accomplish, and those type of things. And you know, my kids were always a priority, always a priority. And I remember at the time, and this one gets me. Okay, the kids were 13 when I got cancer, and I remember my daughter. She said to me, she goes, "Hold on a second, I'm getting emotional. I don't mean." She says to me, "Oh my God, Dad, if something happens to you, we're gonna have to go back with Mom." And I remember telling her, I said, "Don't you worry." I go, "Don't you worry." I said, "I'm not going anywhere." Um, Sorry. Whew. Yeah, that brings back some memories. It does. But yeah, it was just like, you know, so that was, you know, I had a reason to live, a lot of reasons to live. And, but that was, you know, it was an interesting time, I can tell you, but we got through it. And, you know, like I said, I'm still here. My mom had breast cancer in the early 90s and a mastectomy and passed in 2013. And that's not what caused her demise. She was a cancer survivor. Awesome, Andrea. That's awesome. So, yeah, sorry, I got that brought back um, it brought back a lot. So I'm sorry. Whew. But Ed, your battle scars run deep. I admire your strength. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Well, like I said, there's an old saying, and I know not a lot of you know it. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I truly believe we are never given more than we can handle. Um, and I always I remember saying one time to somebody, I said, you know, I know somebody's always got to be the responsible one. I go, but why does it always have to be me? Why do I always have to be the responsible one? But that's just the way it is. You know what I mean? There's people that take care of things and take charge and you know, and care for the people that are involved in their lives, and hopefully, you know, giving you might as well cry for you got me crying. I'm sorry, Patty. I didn't mean to get you crying. Um, but you know, it's just I look at it. I look at it as an honor, to be honest with you. That they look to me, you know, my family, you know, and the people that I care about, that they look to me to help and take care of things. And you know, that's just I will always do that. That's never ever going to change. Ever going to change. And you know, it's just, you know, it's funny. I laugh, like people say, well, who's the leader of your group? Well, that I am an alpha male. Okay, that's just who I am. I've always been a take charge person. But here's what you need to understand. Okay, being a nurse and dealing with the different things that I've had to dealt with in my life, I just deal with things. I don't panic. I don't flip out. I deal with things. And so I think that that is an important leadership quality that you need to have. You know, maybe later on, I might get a little upset, get an emotional or whatever. But, you know, at the time when a situation is happening, you just deal with. I'm going to tell you another story again here, and you're gonna like this one. So, um, Becky and I, Eric, my buddy, he does a before hunting season starts every year. He does a get together at his bug out retreat. He gets all his friends there, um, and all those type of things. And they, we gone. I've gone down there the last couple of years when he's done that. Well, so I had taken my sister down there, and so we got there the night before everybody else was supposed to show up. So there was four of us, and we're having steaks for dinner. Eric had picked up steaks, and so we're sitting there. So I'm sitting here at this, and Eric's at the other end. My sister was on this side, and the other guy was on this side. And so we're eating, and all of a sudden, my sister comes up, and she taps me on the arm, and I look over, and she does like this. Okay, so I stood up. I put my fork and knife down. I stood up, spun her around, hit her once with the Heimlich maneuver, and I know it's not called that anymore, but guess what? It's the Heimlich maneuver. I don't care what the new terminology is for it. I don't give a crap. It's the Heimlich maneuver, okay? Hit her with it the second time. The piece of meat shoots out of her mouth. I look at her and I go, "Are you all right?" And she goes, "Yes, thank you." I said, "Okay." I sat back down, started cutting my steak and eating my steak. And my buddy Eric looks at me and he goes, "Was that for real?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "But the way you did it just so casually." Asa says, "Bravery is not a substance of fear, but making your butterflies fly in formation and strength situation. 7 eggs today, and yes, the thick neck." We'll get to that part of it a little bit later there, Asa. And thank you very much. That's a good statement. I like that very much. Um, but anyway, like I said, I don't panic. I have never panicked. That's just not who I am. I remain calm. I deal with the situation, and then you go on from there. And Becky said to me later, she said, I when I realized that I couldn't breathe, she said I knew all I had to do was get to you. But that's people relying on you. You know what I mean? So it was neat. It was neat, and it's just you deal with things. I know people that are supposedly in charge and in control, panic and flip out and don't handle situations well. Well, you can't in a high stress situation. Good example. I'm going to give you a real good example of this type of situation. Have you ever seen Have you ever seen there was these two brothers that had got pulled over by two, I don't know if they were sheriffs or state troopers, okay? And they ended up having a shootout literally 20 feet apart. And um, I can't even, like 50 something shots were fired and nobody hit anything. The one guy ran off into the woods, the other guy got in the vehicle and took off, and neither one of the police officers were hit either, okay? And the reason that nobody hit anything is because they all panicked. They all panicked. The guy that doesn't panic in a situation like that, either a police officer or the bad guy that stays calm, that stays in control of his emotions, takes care of business. Okay, that's always the way it is. So if you're in a here's the thing is, I have never been in a firefight. So I'm not going to say how I'm going to act in a firefight because I don't know. Okay. But based on my experience of what I've dealt with in life and the different situations that I've been in, and high stress situation, the fight or flight danger situations that I've been in, I don't panic. So I like to think that I wouldn't panic in that situation either, and I would take care of my business. I hope that I am never in that situation. Let me just put that out there in the first place. I hope I'm never in that situation. But I feel, just by my own life experience, that if I was in that situation, that I would be able to take care of my business. So, but like I said, until I can never say, yeah, I know how I'm going to act until you're in that situation. So, I'm gonna give you an example of something else, okay? And so I was in 10th grade, okay? 10th grade, and I was going to BOCES. We would go, or no, I think it was 11th grade. 11th grade. I was going to BOCES for electronics, which I never ended up finishing that, got out of that and didn't do it. But anyway, so the electronics teacher had the chalkboard up there, and he did the whole assume thing. Okay, ASSUME, and circled them. You know, never assume. Always ask a question. Those only stupid questions, the ones that's not asked. Blah blah blah. So then he says, "How many of you people in this room think you could kill somebody?" And a whole bunch of us, we raised our hands. And he made the statement. He says, "Until you are in that situation, you don't know if you can or not." And I kept my hand up. And he said, "Yes, Ed." And I said, "I've already tried." He said, "What?" And so here's another story. I know I've never shared this story with you guys. So when we were kids, we had a peeping Tom in our neighborhood. Okay. And he would go around to the different people. Godwin Honey, I appreciate all the help you I appreciate you and all to help me out. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. Thank you much for the donation as well, and thank you for that statement. I appreciate that. I really do. That means a lot when people tell me that I'm helping them. It really does mean a lot to me. So thank you. So anyway, so I explained to him what had happened. So this guy would go around, and everybody knew who this guy was. They couldn't catch him, right? So my sister was 16, good-looking girl. I mean, you've seen Becky; she's a good-looking girl. She was a little skinny mini back in the day, and so we had one floor house, and he would be out there peeping on Becky. So this particular night, all of a sudden Becky screams, and I go, "What?" She goes, "That a-hole was looking at me in the window." So I grabbed my gun and I ran out the back field, and I could see him running down the field. And I took a shot at him. I tried to hit him. I tried to shoot him. Okay, so yeah, I could. I have no problem with that. Now we called the police, and the police said at the time, it's not like today, because today they would have confiscated the gun. They would have, they would have arrested me. That whole thing. It was a whole different scenario back then. So the cops then said, "Listen, man, you can't be taking a shot at somebody running through a field." So they actually had to go to his house because we knew who it was to make sure I didn't hit him. So, yeah, you weren't face to face looking into his eyes, whole different ballgame. I'm not saying that's not. I'm not saying that's not. But what I was saying is I could if I had to. And I know I could because I had already tried. That was the point I was making to the teacher. But yeah, like I said, guys, listen. I will be the first to say I am a veteran, yes, but I am not a combat veteran. I have never seen combat. I don't begin to ever say I know how my brothers and sisters out there who are veterans that have seen combat feel. I don't, because I've never been in that situation. I would never put shade on that and disrespect those people by saying I know how they feel and blah 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 blah. I don't. I'm gonna tell you what I had. I've dealt with a lot of people that I talked to back in the day, that I've taken care of that were Vietnam veterans. And, I never, one of the things that I never, and I always found this to be disturbing that people would ask this, and they would ask this 9 times out of 10. Did you ever kill anybody? Right? They asked the combat veteran, did you ever kill anybody? How disrespectful to me. That would be the most disrespectful thing that you could ever say to a combat veteran. They did what they had to do, period. And I would never, if they wanted to share that information with me and sit down and talk to me, that's a whole different thing. But that would be on their terms, not on mine. And it's not my place to ever ask that. So, you know, you protect your females. Janet, I always have. I always have. That has always been the way it is. Well, I was a kid, Delta Prepper. I was young. I was like 17 years old. So, I didn't know any better. Believe me, after what, the cop told me, it's different. I took shrapnel in the left leg, never panicked until after the firefight and saw the blood. Yeah, because your adrenaline was kicked in. Absolutely. So, yeah, you just, like I said, you just, Be respectful. That is the biggest thing that I would say. If you know somebody that is a combat veteran, don't be disrespectful. Don't ask them those type of questions. If they want to share it with you, then they will. And those of us that are, always respect the med staff and the medics. Thank you for your strength. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll tell you what. If I had gone back and if I ever went back in, even at my age, probably wouldn't take me back. Now I'm too old, but I would definitely be in, a medical tent trying to help the guys as much as I possibly could, to recover and stuff like that. That's absolutely so. Probably wouldn't let me do combat at my age anymore. I did get a good compliment the other day. So I was in line and I was talking to like the cashier, and and there was another lady, and I told him, yeah, I'm a nurse, and she was like, well, how long were you a nurse? And I said, and I said, well, I still am. I'm just retired now. And I said 30 years. And the guy that was running the cash register, older guy, he said, man, he goes, how old are you? I go, well, how old do you think I am? He goes, I don't know. He goes, maybe 43, 44. I said, I'll take that. I told him, I'm 57. He's like, oh my God. He goes, well, you don't look your age. And I said, well, not a big drinker. Don't smoke, not, don't do drugs. So, I'm, I think lifestyle is a big part of it. I really do. Genetics also help. My father never looked his age. I mean, I've seen people, guys, my age. I mean, like, I don't have wrinkles. I mean, I don't have wrinkles. And I have seen people that are my age that look like they got dragged through the mud and put up wet. I mean, I look at them and I just go, oh my God, what happened? Everybody's life experience is different, but I know like smoking will age the crap out of you, you know. And that's Hakeem. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, no, you don't look your age at all, and I don't feel it. I'll be honest with you. I sat here the other day and I'm like going, how am I almost 60 years old? I mean, how does that happen? You know what I mean? I don't know where the time went. Honestly, I don't. Oh God, we are like, JJ, you don't have me on track. I'm like 2 minutes past egg count time. What is? Oh my goodness. Yes, I'm gonna knock on wood saying that. Yes, I'm completely off the rails here, just flapping away. I hope you guys have enjoyed this stream so far tonight. I really do. I like to try to share my experiences, that I've had. So again, if you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, I didn't even ask for that yet. If you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, please shoot me a thumbs up. Also hit that bell icon to get all notifications. And it really does make a big difference with the algorithms as well. So thank you very much for that as well. So I'll give you guys some time here to get. I'm watching, but get your guesses, and I will give you the correct answer in a moment. If you had the same guess as Lana, and I hope I say your last name right, Borelli, I hope that's correct, with 6 eggs, and yes for Miss Thickneck today, then you are 100% correct. She's actually laid 3 of the last 4 days. She did not lay yesterday, but she had laid 3 days in a row before then. But so Lana was the first one with the correct answer. So I always try to make sure, and some of the other ones had the correct answer as well. But I definitely want to acknowledge the first one that I see that has the correct answer. Uh, so anyway, so that is that. I don't know. All of a sudden I looked up and it's like 47, and I'm like, hey, JJ never told me it was egg count time. Slacking, JJ, slacking tonight. But now I'm going to tell you honestly, guys. My mindset is this. Okay, I truly believe that life is what you make it. It really is. So life can be a miserable experience, or it can be awesome, and it's your choice. Now, don't get me wrong when I'm telling you this. Okay, we are all going to go through hard times in our lives. I have been there. I just went through a funk here not that long ago. It happens. But what you have to realize that you are in that funk and pull yourself out of that funk, because ultimately, every day that we get every day that we get is a blessing. I'm going to tell you what, and this is my philosophy. All right. You can believe it or not believe it. I have seen way, way, way too much in my life, especially with nursing. I have dealt with all myriads of people with handicaps, everything from ALS to babies with heart defects to, elderly people to young men, in a wheelchair for the rest of their life because of a car accident or some form of an accident. I've dealt with it a lot of stuff I've seen. Seen people with traumatic brain injuries because being stupid or just being in a car accident, something like that. So here's what I tell people. All right, if you can get out of bed in the morning by yourself and you can walk into the bathroom and use the toilet by yourself, then walk back into your room and get dressed by yourself. Walk into your kitchen by yourself. Make yourself something to eat and eat your breakfast by yourself. Then leave your house and get into your car and go wherever you want to go. You are not having a good day. You are having a great day because there's so many people that wish they could do the same thing that we take for granted. We take it for granted. What do? Oh, poor me. My life is so hard and my life sucks and blah, blah, blah. But meanwhile, you have somebody that's paralyzed from the chest down, that's on a ventilator, that can't do anything for themselves, wish to God that they could do what you do on a regular basis and wouldn't feel sorry for themselves. That's something to think about. So I hope that resonates with you guys. And I'm not judging anybody. I'm just putting out a truth bomb on you. Okay. Whenever I would feel down or whenever I would get into a funk, I always thought of Richie. Okay. And if you remember, Richie passed away earlier this year. And I took care of Richie. I started taking care of Richie when he was 10 years old. Richie was he 31, 32 when he passed away. All right. When Richie was 5 years old, I'll give you a little backstory. When Richie was 5 years old, normal little boy, in his car seat, in the car, he's out with his mom and his sister, who was also in a car seat because she was even younger. They were hit by a dump truck. Richie survived, but he was paralyzed from the neck down and spent the rest of his life in a wheelchair on a ventilator. And so Richie didn't have friends that could come and visit him. Richie didn't have, people other than family or his nurses. That was his friends, was the nurses, okay? This kid had the absolute best attitude I have ever seen from anybody, okay? And he had such a zest for life. He painted with his mouth. Paintings. Made a painting of Toby Keith, which he gave to Toby Keith. Did one from, Reba McEntire. He loved Reba McEntire. He did one for her and sent it to her. I mean, this is the kind of kid that he was. And so whenever I would get down and I would start to feel sorry for myself and poor Ed and, oh my God, life sucks for me and blah, 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 I would think of Richie. Okay. And I would think of what a shit hand he was dealt. And he still had a positive attitude and a positive outlook on life. And that's always what I would look at. Okay. And I apologize for swearing, but that's the best way to describe the hand that he was dealt in life. Okay. And when he died, that one hurt like you would not believe. Right? Here I go again. He was an outstanding human being. And that's all I can say. He was an outstanding human being. And I miss him. And I always will. So, yeah, no, I'm getting like, whoo, crazy emotional. God, I got to stop doing this stuff to myself. Now he was special. and he made other people's life better. That's all I can say. Um, and I am blessed to say that he was my friend, and I would call him and he would get on the phone and he would be like, "I love you, Ed." And I would say, "I love you too, Richie." I will always have the memories of the different things that we did together and the laughs, the Jerky Boys. If you guys have ever seen the Jerky Boys, um, they had these tapes and we would listen to the tapes and we would laugh. Yeah, he'll always be with me. He'll always be right here in my heart. So, but whew, okay. My goodness gracious, my kids, people I take care of. I'm going to tell you what, and I'm going to tell you, I blame my kids. I'm going to be honest with you. I blame my kids. Before I ever had my kids, I considered myself a tough guy. Okay, I was a tough guy. I never cried. I didn't show emotion. Um, Once I had my kids, they ruined me. Oh, my ex-wife used to say to me, she said, people are so afraid of you. She goes, but you're just a big marshmallow. You're like a big teddy bear. And I used to say to her, be quiet. Don't let that get out. I said, you're going to ruin my reputation. Don't let that get out. So, are you lonely in West Virginia by yourself? No, I have Hella. Hella's with me all the time, so I'm never lonely. I have one of my children. One of my children are with me all the time. It humbles you. It does. I'm going to tell you what. Having children um, completely changes everything. Everything. Um, I one of my best friends, Steve, that I've talked about Steve a lot of times, and he told me, he said, Ed, when you had your kids, you changed. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, you changed for the better. He goes, you became a better person. And I said to him at that time, I said, you got to understand something, man. Up to that point, I didn't have my kids till I was 36. Up to that point, it was about me. I wasn't responsible for anybody else. And so when my kids were born, it changes you. It should change you. Um, they don't ask to be brought into this world. And I wanted them, they were planned. So they're my responsibility. And it should change you. So, it now becomes not about you, it becomes about them. And it never changes. Your kids, no matter how old you are, they're still your kids. Your relationship changes and stuff like that. The dynamics of the relationship changes, but they will always be your kids. So having kids brings you down to earth. Well, it makes you more vulnerable. I think is the right word, or it should. So, but so yeah, so that's where that's where that is. But but anyway, so I never used to cry. Had my kids, I watched movies. I watched My Life. That was the movie I was thinking of. Michael Keaton, My Life. Okay. There is a scene in that movie that if I watched it right now, I would start crying. And it brings me back to when I was taking care of my grandfather. My grandfather passed away in 1992, so he's been gone a long, long time. Long time, 30 years already now, which that doesn't seem possible. But there's a scene in that movie where the father is shaving Michael Keaton because Michael Keaton is dying of cancer. And it always brings me back to when my grandfather was dying of cancer. He had leukemia. And again, I watched this big, strapping man who was my role model, in all essence, my father, because he was my role male figure. Um, a role model, I should say. He was nothing left, skin on bones by the time he died. And I would go out every other day and I would give him a bath or a shower and shave him. And so when I saw that movie, My Life by Michael Keaton, and they were doing that scene, it just, it just, it brings that all back. And 30 years later now, I'll still cry over something like that. So, but but don't piss me off because I'm not the one. But anyway, so that's just too funny. But no, as far as being down here by myself, I don't mind it. I really don't. It gives me time to a lot of times to reflect, to think about things. I'm going to tell you what, guys. I'm not perfect. I have done a lot of bad things when I was younger, a lot of bad things. But I am, and I'm not on any kind of path to try to get redemption. That's not what anything is. You come to crossroads in your lives, and you have to make a decision. Hey, Asif, have a good night, buddy. You come to a crossroads and you have to make decisions. And I think that I made better decisions at certain points in my life, and I've become a better person for it. So that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah, I'm all out of bubble gum. I love that. That is all kinds of. I love that movie and that line. Yes, and I'm all out of bubble gum. All right, so let us. I'm actually going to try to get back on a regular track here. And so I got to tell you real quick before we do shout outs. So I saw a comment today and I had to laugh. Um, Somebody had said, well, before you go back to New York next time, you should make a list of the things that you want to make sure that you bring down with you this time when you come back. And so somebody made a comment. They go, that doesn't do list. It took them years to put together the list for shout outs, which they're right. So, but I'm excited about seeing the Cheez-Its on the shelf. I'll have to bring them back down with me. When I come back down next time, I'll make sure I bring the Cheez-Its with me. All right, so let's do some shout-outs, okay? First of all, we have Icky Can up in Canada. A really good dude. He's been living off-grid up there. And I know he's trying to get his family to come up there with him as well, so I hope that they do. He's been doing a lot of things, and he's a good guy. So I would ask you to go and support him. JJ just threw the link up there for him. We have Angry Prepper down in New York City, Jason. You guys all know who Jason is. Actually, he's planning on coming this weekend. I actually reached out and left him a message today, so hopefully he gets back to me and lets me know for sure that he's coming. But he's supposed to be coming this weekend. So good guy, love his stuff, down to earth, salt of the earth kind of guy. Real. And that's what I like about Jason. Jason is real. We have Alaskan Prepper with Rudy up in Canada, or Alaska, sorry. Canada, listen to me. Alaska. Another good dude. We have Alaskan Granny. There's Sean James with the Sean James channel and My Self Reliance. Two different channels. Really good information. Very knowledgeable guy. He takes care of his family too, and I love that about him. He's got a great relationship with his kids, and I think that that's important. It always tells, to me, it kind of tells you what kind of person they are. So, but he's a good dude, and I like what he does. You have North Shore Preparedness also up in Canada. There is Corporal's Corner. You have Bjorn Hansen, 80K Man, up in the Adirondacks. Vizariza who does the Carrington Chronicles. Really good stuff there. You have Marfugal News out on the West Coast with Adam and Dax out in Seattle. Really, I like them. So, some of you may not, and that's okay, but, they're good guys. I said, don't forget Heather's Etsy. I won't, Francine, I promise. You also have Magic Prepper in North Dakota. You have Wrangle Star, which is Cody. Like what he does too. Another really salt of the earth kind of guy. Red Poppy Ranch. There's Survival Lily. Kyle's Cabin with Kyle and Sierra up in Minnesota. You have Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, husband and wife, two different channels. They split time between Alaska and Minnesota, so they're really, really good. Good, and I like what they do. You have Green Greg's, Southern Prepper One. His Boots on the Ground series are doing really, really well. A lot of people are sending him a lot of information, and he's sharing that with people, and I think that's really good. Southern Prepper One, that's just Southern Prepper One. Gray Man Prepping, St. Bernard Acres with Joe. You have Doug and Stacy, another good channel, a lot of good information. The Nomadic Movement, which is down in Panama. The Green Dream Project, out in Arizona. You have Camping with Steve Wallace. Love Steve. I think he's a great dude. I never talked to him, but I just really like his series with the stealth camping, and you can just tell he's just a laid back kind of guy. You have Monkey Works, The Needy Homesteader, Boss of the Swamp, Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Love Diamond, really smart individual. I highly, highly recommend you go check him out. You have Patera with Appalachian Homestead. There's City Prepper, Lumina Acres, Suspicious Observer. You have Bear Independent, The Uneducated Economist, Bushcraft Bear is on vacation right now in Europe, so good for him. Glad he's able to do that. Mary Greeley News with all the updates on the volcanic activity with Yellowstone and earthquakes and everything else. I really like what she does. Adapt 2030. You have Malachi's Corner. There is Ice Age Farmer. Ryan Hall Y'all. If you want to get your weather on the internet, I would go to Ryan Hall Y'all on YouTube. Love what he does. You have Russell Brand. Again, I love Russell Brand. He makes people think. He doesn't pick a side. He just shares information, which I think is amazing. You have Deep South Homestead, another really good channel. The Outsider, I love what he does as well with the building and stuff like that. And he just lost his dad after losing his mom, less than 2 years ago. So I couldn't imagine what that has to be like. The Fit Farmer, you have Prepper Princess, Simple Life Reclaimed, Townsend's, you have the Prepared Mine out in California, Pinball Preparedness down in Tennessee, there's East Tennessee Preparedness, the Economic Ninja, in Little House Off Gritty, they are also in Tennessee. So that is who I have on my list for shout outs. So I would ask you to support them. If you would, check them out. There's a lot of really, and there's a, yeah, BP Earthwatch is another one. There's a lot of really, really good channels out there. It's definitely good to diversify, look at different ways of people, different parts of the country or world, people look at things differently. It's just the way it is. So the other thing, yes, there's Etsy store. Lori, thank you, because I did forget, even though I talked about it in the middle of the shout outs. Guys, if you'd like to support Heather with her Etsy account, JJ will throw the link up there if you would, JJ. She does jewelry and also she does knitting. If you have requests, she can make things for you. She also, makes cat hats or dog hats, all those type of things, and so she enjoys doing that. So there you are. So definitely check her out as well. JJ Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That's too funny. But anyway, like I said, there's a lot of good information out there. We definitely should be checking different people's stuff out to see different perspectives, and that's a cool thing. So definitely, definitely do that. So, JJ, are you like the only moderator in here tonight? there's Heather's Etsy account. So thank you, JJ. I keep seeing JJ's name pop up, but I'm not seeing anybody else. But anyway, so I got to tell you this. So my buddy Eric and I were talking, and I am definitely 100% for sure, yes, next year going to Sturgis. And next year, because Heather will be 21 in October, Heather is going to go with me. So, because I did not want to take her out there underage. I want to be able to keep an eye on her and keep her safe. So, yeah. So we are definitely going to be doing Sturgis next year. I cannot wait. I think that'll be great. I think it'll be a great experience for Heather as well. And, so we'll see what happens. But so that will be very, very cool. And so that is that. So she will be, so we're going to try to figure out where we're going to put everything. Sturgis is interesting. Sturgis is a blast. Sturgis is a blast. And part of what Ginger, what's part of the best part is to me, honestly, is just the ride out there. To get on your bike with a group of people, ride together, and do that 1,500-mile or plus ride, and that camaraderie and brotherhood. Doing 500 miles or so in a day. stopping at the hotel and getting, and then just having dinner together and just, BSing and talking about the ride. And it's all part of it. It's all part of the experience. And it's a lot of fun. So, but yeah, I am definitely doing Sturgis next year. So, Ed, you got to check out Lead Farmer 73 Gardening and Prep. He's so funny. Do me a favor, send me a link in my email at preppernurse1@yahoo.com, because I will never remember. I'll be honest with you. So if you shoot me the link in my email, I will check him out. So thank you for that. Beef and chicken. I like that. Good name. So anyway, um, we are Legion because we are many. We are all over the country. We're all over the world. We are uh, been to Sturgis 10 years in a row. This will be the first year I haven't been able to get there. Hey, Prep Rebel, if you're going to go next year, man, let's definitely hook up. Okay, if you're going next year, let's either that or we pick you up. Shoot me an email, Prep Rebel, where you coming from, and maybe we can meet part way on the road and continue to ride out together. Okay, so let me know. So we'll figure it out. But anyway, we are Legion. We are many. We're all over the country. We're all over the world. Where is everybody from tonight? North Highlands of California. We have Waterloo, New York, Central Missouri, Vancouver Island via Ireland. Very nice. Oh, you're in Vancouver, so you're the other way. Ulster Park, New York, Nowhere, Oklahoma, with Okie Forge. Franklin County, Ohio, Pleasant Plain, Ohio, Christmas Valley, Oregon, Michigan, Oregon, BC, Canada, Central Ohio, uh, Mayock, North Carolina, Inverness, Florida, with Clyde is in the house, Princeton, Indiana, East Tennessee, Southwest Pennsylvania. We have some in the Ozarks, Fort Worth, Texas, Utah, Edgewater, Florida, East Central Illinois, Nebraska, Cape Cod, Massachusetts, Alabama there with Roll Tide, absolutely. Bumstead, Florida, go Canes. Come on now, Frederick. It's Roll Tide. You said it wrong. It's mispronunciation, I'm sure. Verone, BC, Canada, Colorado Springs, Colorado, North Carolina, Michigan, Northeast Georgia, North Hollywood, California. All depends on I'm in North or South. Okay. Well, shoot me an email anyway. We'll talk about it. Central Indiana, Portolo, Indiana, I believe. Lickskillet, Alabama. Georgia in the mountains. Michigan. We have Loving Life is in Yellowstone. Very nice. Mexico's in the house. Very nice. Glad to have you here. Central Iowa. Douglas County, Missouri. So once again, like I said, we are truly all over the place. Uh, all over the country, all over the world. We're a huge, huge network of people. You know, we have Central Illinois here. Karma Ghost. I like the name. That's awesome. Karma is real. Some of you may not believe in karma, but boy, I'll tell you what, I have seen karma work so many times. And it definitely is real. So be careful how you treat people and the way that you act in life, because it will come back and bite you in the behind. We have Middle Tennessee with Carol's in the house. Very nice. So no talking about the raid for Trump. I already did a video on that. Why would I talk about it more? I already did a video on that. All right, Prep Rebel, thank you. So I want to continuously encourage you all to prep. Okay. No one knows when the next shoe is going to drop or what's going to be the next thing that happens. But we really do need Icky's missing in Canada 2 months. Yeah, he gets going with different things, and sometimes he doesn't post for a while, Ed, but he will again. He's got a lot of older videos up there that you can watch. He's a good dude. Like I said, I really, really like him. I've talked to him several times. Very, very salt of the earth. He's got a beard like I ain't never seen anybody have a beard before too. He's a real he's a real deal. I mean, his beard is like a bush. So, um, but anyway, you know, continue to get ready. Take care of your families. Think of your families, and especially if you have children, think of your children. Life, you never know what's going to happen. And I want you guys to remember too, guys, that Ed, you are very special. Never lose your tender spirit. It's a gift from your maker. Thank you, Jeanette. I appreciate that. I can only be me. That's all I can be. I can't be anybody else but me. So, but anyway, take care of the people that you take care of. SHTF does not have to be the end of the world as we know it. SHTF can be anything that's going to happen, that can affect your life directly. The town that you live in, your home, your job, those all can be SHTF events. So being as ready as we can for whatever may happen is a very, very smart thing to do. So what are we at? 387. We got to hit 400 thumbs up here, guys, before we jump off, just because. So if you have not shot that thumbs up yet, I would ask you to please do that to show support for the channel. And thank you ahead of time. Also, it really does make a difference with the algorithms. So I thank you for that reason as well. And again, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And there we are, we're already at 400. You guys banged it out that quick. I kind of figured you would. So I want to make sure I thank my moderators. Hey, there's Lady Kickboxer. Um, I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic job. Thank you guys for doing what you do, keeping the chat clean. It's SHTF. Every one of us comes up unemployed. Oh, yeah. A month ago, my husband and I reached unemployed within 24 hours of each other. Wow. Yeah, that's not good. That definitely makes you reevaluate things in a hurry. So, but so anyway, you know, I want to thank my moderators again. They do an awesome job keeping the chat clean, and we have wonderful conversations here. I try to get as many of your questions as I possibly can. It's not always possible, so and if I'm on a roll, I generally just keep rolling. So I want to thank all you guys for being here. I do appreciate the support. It does mean a lot to me. So thank you guys for being here and through the years and being part of this journey. There's a long way to go. There's a lot to do down here, and you guys are going to see it all come to fruition. It's going to be awesome. I think over time, I'm going to get as much done as I can this year, and then we'll just keep on going. But I hope we got a long time before a true SHTF event happens. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen sooner rather than later. All I can do is the best that I can. So anyway, guys, remember, we are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we could figure that one out, we will be in much, much better shape. People just have no idea. They have no idea. Race, religion, political affiliation, the vax, the unvax, these are all tools that they use to divide us, keep us fighting amongst each other over nothing. All those things mean nothing. If we could come together and say, hey, let's work together as human beings for the betterment of mankind, just think about what we could get accomplished. Think about what we could get done. All right. So also remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day, excuse me, tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really, really important that we tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. Okay. Tell them, because like I said, tomorrow could be your last day. And if you didn't, or their last day, and if you didn't tell them, that just, there's a lost opportunity. Also remember, guys, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to do in life, doesn't have to be prepping related, doesn't have to be off-grid related. Whatever you're striving to do, whatever your passion is, whatever you want to accomplish, if you work at it methodically, it can happen. It'll get done. And it's up to you. And the only one that's going to stop you from reaching your goals is you. You know what I mean? It's you. That's it. Nobody else. So stay positive, stay away from that negativity, and you're going to be just fine. All right. So, anyway, guys, I will see you all later. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Be safe, and I will see you on the next one. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.